Hello and welcome to Dinis Guarda YouTube podcast series, powered by citiesabc.com, openbusinesscouncil.org, and fashionabc.org. Once again, here we are to continue profiling some of the leading personalities in the world, in the business, in the technology sector, that are creating new narratives that actually can help us understand better our times, and as well creating new revenue streams, new business, new employment, new jobs, that actually can leverage and open a lot of new doors. My guest today is Andy Q. High-profile personalities in the gaming and metaverse technology world that has been working as a mobile gaming pioneer and tech entrepreneur, and the founder of the software companies BlueArk, Nurien Software, and more recently, ALTAVA Group. Andy Q holds a BS in architecture from Cornell University and also an MBA from the Harvard Business School. Andy has been right now leading the company and as well being the CEO of ALTAVA Group, a Singapore-based luxury fashion metaverse that enables users to discover, interact, and express themselves through high-fidelity avatars. The company operates WOI, World of You, a metaverse that provides Omni-platform experiential solutions, high-end luxury brands engagement with a seamless connection between consumers and the real world and virtual world in terms of metaverse and NFTs solutions. The company has successful collaborations with the luxury brands and global powerhouses such as Thom Browne, Prada, and Balmain. After his studies, Andy has been involved in startups, and he is a great personality that was in the inception of what we discussed right now in terms of metaverse. And while he left his studies, he was a pioneer in social gaming, having created M-Star, a 3D avatar-based fashion app. He was also the founder of BlueArk in 2014 to develop and publish games and digital education platforms like converting famous IP, such brands such as SpongeBob, Dora the Explorer, Tunics, and American Idol into digital formats, working with Viacom, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, 19 Entertainment, BlueArk Global, and all these games were launched in platforms in more than 137 countries. Being involved on the gaming industry, Andy is as well a pioneer in all the areas of gaming, Metaverse, NFTs, and Web 3.0, and the bridge between Web 2 and Web 3.0. And as the CEO of the company, Andy was involved as well, especially in Netmarble, a previous venture, a mobile game company. He was more involved in the working with companies and developing solutions for Marvel, Future Flight, Seven Knights, Raven, and Everybody's Marvel, among others. So, hello, Andy, and welcome to our series. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for hosting me today. It's my great pleasure to be, talking to you today. I've been waiting for this opportunity, and once again, thank you for hosting me today.
So, Andy, you have a fantastic background, both academic as an entrepreneur and as well as someone that is always a step ahead in the industry. So as well, you've been US, Asia, in a lot of different parts of the world. So can you tell us about your background from an education perspective, but as well from a cultural background? Because I think when you talk about these interviews, the successful people are the ones that can think out of the box. And in your case, it's amazing your wealth of experience and knowledge. Yes,
I actually have a dual degrees in architecture and urban planning from Harvard. But now I was just very quick to jump into the startup scene during the peak of dot-com bubble era back in early 2000. That's when I graduated. I was initially drawn into a concept called online gaming, which Korea was dominating in early 2000, and I just decided to be a game guy. From that point on, and I quit everything what I was doing in architecture and real estate and I created my first, company, right away. So, but if you think about it, if I graduated a year after, which is a dot-com crash, I think I would have been, just stayed as an architect. So, for that, I call myself an accidental, entrepreneur. And ALTAVA is already my fourth company, having all last three companies being game companies again. First game company, I had a joint venture partnership with David Jones. David Jones is a creator of the Grand Theft Auto series. My second company was called Nurien Software, which was acquired by Netmarble, one of the biggest game companies in the world. So simply put, I think I'm a serial entrepreneur with 20 years of a game experience. That's basically the background.
Wow, that's quite impressive. So can you tell us a bit about, I always like to talk about the life of the person. So someone, like you said, that you are an accidental entrepreneur, but a very successful one, but as well with a very strong academic from Harvard and Cornell. So tell us a bit about your academic background, because in the end of the day, these are, of course, top universities in the world, but as well, you have multiple cultural background, which is quite impressive as well. But how did you go through these things to become an entrepreneur? I think a bit of your personal journey.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Korea, and I just went to the States for my college degree and master's degree, which again, like I said, I trained to be an architect, first, and then just because the dot-com boom and was was a thing to do, and the startup was a thing to do. Without knowing too much, I just like this whole concept of you being an entrepreneur and you can change the world. And I decided to be a tech entrepreneur, especially a game guy. The truth is that I didn't know anything about playing games. I didn't play any games. I knew nothing about games, but I just recognized this potential. About this new category called online gaming when it came out, because just simply based on the one simple logic, that is, game by nature is always more fun if you play with other players instead of you playing by yourself. And just the fact that you can play against a lot of random people at the same time with a lot of people. That fascinated me, and I thought that could be the next game changer, going forward. And on top of that, you always, the typical corporate environment, which I was about to do. I had a regular job, very nice job in Manhattan. I was going to go through that typical process where I start with associate, become a VP, the partners, and et cetera, and et cetera. But this whole startup thing, the fact that you can create your own category and by default become the category killer, and going into a journey where there's no proven path, with no proven rules and system, that excites me and that motivates me, and therefore you can actually have a huge impact and influence on people, therefore create a new culture. I was dreaming that every day. That's what kept me going. And I was young, right after the school. I didn't have to live comfortably. I didn't have to eat fancy food. So it was easy for me to just, living on those, dream for a while. And then I, met this my prediction about online game becoming the next big category within the game category was right on the dot. And I just happened to be the right, moment at the right time. Again, all accidental, and just my guess was right. I had the first huge opportunity and had my, first exit, through my game company. So that was my early days. And then I met my, current co-founder, and wanted to build something beyond just the gaming, and that was the ALTAVA Group.
Oh, that's wonderful history. So just one note before we go to ALTAVA. So being South Korean and then going to the US, and I know that South Korea has been always on the cutting edge of technology because you guys have Samsung, you have some of the biggest innovation as well. I think Samsung is, I think in terms of innovation, is always on the top 5-10 countries in the world, and as well, especially on technology, you've been always a step ahead. But then you went to the US and you kept building as well the entrepreneurial culture of the US. How did you look at the two things? Because I know that South Korea is very much more Asian culture, very respectful. As an entrepreneur, very different from the US. So probably you have the best of the two worlds. But how did that affect your career?
Yeah, I think the couple things. I think to me, Korea is a new East meets West. Korea's in a way is always sandwiched by two major world force: China on left side, the US on the right side. This is where these two kind of colliding with each other. So throughout the history, we are very obviously familiar with China. So I'm very comfortable working with China. At the same time, Korea has been always good and friends and open to the Western US culture. So we had these two cultures and experience almost embedded in as an entrepreneur, as a business businessman. So that gave me a huge the advantage. I understand the China side, which was the becoming the giant the force, especially starting early 2000. But I'm educated, and by nature we are always close to US. So I was able to bring these two big forces and together and link them together, becoming the bridge. That was one natural advantage I had. The second advantage we had early on, the Korea back in late 90s, the government decided to push really hard on internet. So Korea had the #1 broadband penetration rate in the world for the longest time. So we are quick to adapt into this internet, and so everything became online, and Korea became the test bed for all the new innovative technology one of them was the online gaming. That's why the Korea became the birthplace and the birthplace for the microtransaction-based business model. So those two things. So Korea was always the first market to be tested when the new product innovation technology come out. So I had the early access to the latest newest technology. So these two made me a slight advantage, gave me a slight advantage over the ones only in China, ones only in the States.
Yeah, that's really fantastic, the way you have the multiple cultural backgrounds, because you have the three major parallels. And of course, South Korea has a lot of bridges with all the culture of Asia, which is quite dynamic and full of bridges. So before you created the ALTAVA, you created as well your first startup still in the university. Can you tell us about that? Because I think especially BlueArk and the different things that you created before, I think that is an interesting one, because of course ALTAVA right now is a major player, but a bit of your history, your career, because it's I would like to hear about that. And I think our audience would love to learn how you do that.
So two notable companies that I create prior to ALTAVA is one is called Nurien Software, the other one is called BlueArk. Nurien Software, basically what is the game company? We create an online game called MStar. And it's still running and operating. That happened to be the first social-based fashion genre game, where the business model for that particular game was selling the virtual fashion that we have created. It was basically copy-paste from the internet, and we were selling the virtual fashion to our, the member users, and we were selling them so well that we almost average $83 per person on a monthly basis. So this is when I recognized realized the next potential big opportunity in fashion will be in games and virtual worlds. That became the foundation of ALTAVA of today. The second company called BlueArk, it was all about IP management. We work with a lot of the entertainment, the IP companies such as Viacom, Nickelodeon Group, and then the Cartoon Networks and Simon Fuller, the XIX Entertainment. We basically are the licensing, managing their IPs and convert their IPs into games. Like SpongeBob, Dora the Explorer, we've done numerous IP-based the executions. So this is how I learned how to manage IP, and then learned the concept of brand management. So after all, the luxury brands and all these entertainment companies, to me, they are all brand management company. The Louis Vuitton, Prada, Dior, though they are fashion company, they're really, if you think about it, they're the brand management company. They have to make sure that their brand, the Prada, Louis Vuitton, lasts next 100 years, 1,000 years, and that's the most valuable thing they can possibly have. So because of the BlueArk experience, I also had the learn the IP, what is IP, how to manage an IP, and so it was a natural for me to extend that experience into luxury fashion. So I was able to speak their language. I understood what they cherish the most, what the biggest importance of their amongst their brand experience. So those two previous experience tremendous help to get to where I am today, and that became the strong foundation of ALTAVA Group today.
Now, one of the biggest areas for anything, and I love what you said about the bridge between, first of all, the gamification part of society, which right now is present in everything, then the IP part, and now we integrate this in our lives. So when you're creating ALTAVA and when you had this experience, how are you talking with the brands? Because I think one of the challenges I'm facing dealing with brands, and of course even in these interviews, is that you and me and most of our peers are like far ahead, like 10, 20 years ahead. In your case, you start actually 40 years ahead, or 20, because a lot of things are still starting. But for instance, all these parts of the avatars are still in a lot of immersion and a lot of futuristic things, although our children are already playing with this. How did you explain this to brands? Because very few brands are having this capacity, and how you make the bridge to, in one end, continue with the innovation part, but as well continue with the commercial business part.
Yeah, that was the biggest challenge of ALTAVA Group in the beginning, because we started ALTAVA Group 2018. This is way before Metaverse and NFT became the kind of the everybody's household terminology. And as you know, luxury brands are always the last mover in terms of adapting the newest technology, adapting the newest latest trends. So it wasn't easy to even describe, convince what the virtual world, the concept is. But however, we also demonstrate with our visual, demos. So that's something that we have, right? We're not just a, concept, company. We had a full technology from my previous experience, from the avatar, the M-Star experience, the top tier avatar technology, and then the experience of, managing the virtual fashion as a business model. So we demonstrate, after one, and then and this is also back in 2019. This is when the brands were interested in the Gen Z the most, and I convinced them where Gen Zs are spending most of their time, basically in games, in Metaverse. So if brands needs to get to Gen Z, the Metaverse, the games, it's the must platform they have to get into, and also explain the virtual fashion as a potential business model, and as if you think about virtual fashion as a business model again, is probably the most sustainable and eco-friendly business model they can possibly enjoy. So all this little thing, one after one after one after, I was able to convince, one particular brand. I think Balmain was the very first brands to convince, and then we signed. And once one brand, joined, it was actually much easier to have the second, brands to, jump in. Now that we have built the reference and the use case, the second brands was easy to track. And then all of a sudden, 2020, the COVID-19 hit the worldwide. And so brands, all of a sudden, we are getting actually calls from brands for, they need help. So also the brands who used to run the wholesale business, the showroom business, it was all of a sudden gone. So they need to duplicate this experience more virtually. So they need some, help from us. So we are, and with that, we are also able to get more and more brands on board, and they're adopting, buying this whole Metaverse, the virtual world, and digital fashion concept, in 2020. Then 21, finally the whole Metaverse, then NFT, the huge tsunami, the wave, the hit, and ALTAVA happened to be again at the right place at the right time, and already doing things that most startups were about to start. So we already had the reference, the case built, and technology all demonstrated. So that's everything became one by one, and accelerate due to COVID, to be honest with you.
Yeah, COVID was an accelerator for all this innovation.
Yes.
So let's look right now at ALTAVA Group. And I think our team will put images because you guys have the most beautiful things possible. But how does it work? And for people that never heard about it, if you could do a small summary about what you guys are doing and the cool stuff that is coming out of your group.
Yeah, ALTAVA Group is basically, you can simply put it as a fashion metaverse company, luxury fashion metaverse company. But, we go actually beyond just as a fashion metaverse company. We are connector between Web 2 and Web 3 world. We are bridging this Web 2 and Web 3, bridging the real life and the digital experience, real product versus digital products. So, and by doing so, we are really trying to create new, commerce model. So our biggest interest is topic called what is the next commerce? We are all moving into Web3 era, and the Web2 based e-commerce model, which is a platform-driven e-commerce model, to us is no longer sustainable. It's not sexy, and everything's now shifting to Web3. What is the next commerce? And we are right now, the ALTAVA is defining the next commerce model in terms of business model, in terms of creating a new efficiency, in terms of rebuilding the distribution method, reestablishing the relationship between brands and customers. So we like to now these days also call ourselves the next commerce company, but we are known more as the luxury fashion metaverse company. So with that, we have three distinctive line of a business. The first is our own metaverse. We call ALTAVA Worlds of You. This is the most the graphically advanced and graphically sophisticated metaverse project out there, where we are the only metaverse company who can represent brands, product, as is without sacrificing its shape, color, even the physics, the movements. So that's the first our line of a business. Second line of a business we have is what we call ALTAVA Market. This is mainly the NFT marketplace. So we launch numerous we have launched numerous NFT projects, sometimes in collaboration with luxury brands. Some of them are our own, and we just launched the latest newest NFT projects called Bored Apes Golf Club. This is in collaboration with Bored Ape Yacht Club, the original holders, and so that's ongoing. Today is the last minting date. So that's the second line of a business. Third line of a business is what we call ALTAVA for business. This is basically our B2B line of a business where provide solution technology to brands. So we build brands, e-commerce brands, the pop-up store, virtual pop-up store, brands, the virtual ambassadors. We also launch the brands, the NFT projects. We also build brands, the Metaverse, and integrate brands in experience into other metaverse as well. So anything that relates directly with the brands, it falls under ALTAVA for business. So again, last 3 years, we focused our all our efforts bringing the offline more Web2 based brands, plug them into Web3. But now with the BAGC, we are going opposite way, taking the Web3 company, Web3 properties into Web2 and plug them into real world. So we are the only company who have done the full cycle of projects from Web2 to Web3, Web3 back to Web2. And again, by doing so, we think the next 5-10 years, there's going to be a new commerce model that's going to rise from this the big shift. And ALTAVA wants to be the leader in this new category called the next commerce.
Well, first of all, congratulations, because this is quite impressive, and is impressive in multiple layers, of the technology, the business, and the global brands you work. You work with the biggest brands in the planet. So one of the things that is very exciting is the ALTAVA Worlds of You. So can you explain what is the Worlds of You, and as well explain how it contexts?
So it's the fashion focused metaverse. It's all about expressing yourself, and we are also in a way a little bit democratizing the luxury experience, making it available virtually through our metaverse. So the Web2 era, the product experience is or shopping experience more focused on the D2C, right, direct to consumer. But now with the metaverse, especially our ALTAVA metaverse, we like to shift that from D2C experience to D2A experience, direct to avatar. So going forward, we are making a bet that younger generations first product experience will first happen in the metaverse through their avatar. So ALTAVA Worlds of You wants to be the de facto the metaverse partner projects for all brands, especially the luxury brands, where we create the full the brand's experience built in and within our metaverse, as well as direct link to brands e-commerce. So not only users can purchase the digital goods here, they can also purchase the real physical goods here. And this is all through the gamification layer that we put in. So there are a lot of fun factors. And at the same time, this is based on the tokenized economy. So ALTAVA has our own token called TAVA. So users can come and play games, go through the missions, and we launch sometimes digital campaign in collaboration with brands. There are a lot of opportunities users can earn our token, and then with that you can also spend token to buy the the virtual goods. But going forward in the future, we want to have an access where people can buy the physical goods as well with the tokens and the rewards they earn from our metaverse. So it's very close to the real experience, but it's all virtual. But at the same time, we also have a creators economy where we provide tools for all fashion designers, and they can create their own virtual fashions. And through the voting process, they can be selected to be uploaded into our the virtual the shops. But as well as we plan to physically produce the real fashions from these winning entries. So the full creators economies is also embedded as well. So so that's the the ALTAVA words of view. So if you can come and join, download from Google Play Store, App Store, you can have the full luxury brands experience today.
Yeah, it's impressive, and our team is going to put images as we interview you, because there's a lot of beautiful and a lot of fantastic things. And so let's look at so you have a very strong so you spoke about the tokenization and the tools for creators. So it's one of the things right now is and I face that every day is finding creators that know how to use these tools and how to get money out of that. So the creative economy that you just mentioned. So how do you see that, especially the work that you do? So how do you get the creators? How do you work with universities? How do you work with different industry players? Because it's one of the biggest challenge is getting, first of all, the universities just to have any narrative around that, because they don't. Most of the universities don't even understand what is happening in terms of metaverse. They don't even know what is the metaverse. And even the NFT right now is a very young revolution. At the moment, according to some studies, there's close to 3.7 million people using NFTs, which is quite a considerable number of people, but it's still small. And when it comes to really people that actually know how even to use a wallet, for instance, the biggest wallet in the world that is MetaMask has only 40 million users. But then if you look at what Nike and Adidas are doing in terms of NFTs, it's really very impressive. So can you tell how you've been actually going into this? Because you are in one end working with the biggest brands in the world. And for instance, Prada launched recently a series of NFTs, Nike as well. So how do you converge the creator economy or the creators, the technology, the regulated part of this, and then the big business?
So as you know, Web3 now, I think it's what I call, creators economies, really, starts. Because now all the digital asset that you create, first of all, now digital asset that you create, it's protected, and therefore now can be classified as a true asset class. And then so ownership and the authentication, even the transactions, all protected and transparent. And so and it's yours, right? It's not and it exists beyond above any particular service or platform. So with that, what we are doing is that so the Bored Ape Golf Club, our NFT series, one of the users' benefit is a merchandising goods that we will produce, and another the benefit is what I call IP management, IP ownership and management, meaning we will on behalf of our holders, we will manage our holders' IPs and continuously produce the physical products like hoodies and T-shirts and sell them at the department store. We've been operating pop-up stores with in collaboration with the department store Hyundai. They are the biggest department store group in Korea, and we generate revenue. And from that revenue, we do through the staking process, we do proper you know, the rewards. We provide rewards back to our holders. So we are in the business creating the physical goods, and we plan to have more and more pop-up stores going forward. So we actually calls for the design competition to produce Bored Ape Golf Club, you know, and the IPs to produce either T-shirts, hoodies, which designers come in, and you know, whether they can use their own tool, they can use our own tool, submit their designs, and you know, it goes through the voting process of our community or Metaverse, you know, the players, and top 10 selected, say we rank them, right, 1 to 10,000, and you know, for example, top 10 designers, the design gets minted as an NFT, as well as they get to, you know, be produced in real life, and then we sell them at the department store, and the earning can be shared amongst the creator, the IP holders, us, etc., etc. So it's a, you know, shared, you know, the economy, the model. And on top of that, for these designers to submit and create this, you know, the virtual fashion, the design, they need to, you know, purchase the mini items, what we call raw materials, you know, scissors, etc., etc., which can only be bought and purchased by our land's owner. So we have a land system as well, just like any other metaverse. And if you're owner of a land, you know, parcel, instead of just holding land and, you know, that's about it, we have a very specific function where landowner can produce these what we call raw material, certain item, you know, and which the creators need to purchase to produce the digital fashion. So everything is linked, right? From our BAGC NFT projects to our Metaverse, to physical goods, to NFT projects, to creators and landowner. It's all connected, and it's all clicking, and it's all under one, you know, economy. And main the payment system here is our ALTAVA token. So it's also looped in part of the tokenized economy. So this is the new unique economy that we are creating, and we are super excited about this, you know, going forward. So every NFT projects we do, we are going to have some real life connection, and you know, we'll have some physical goods that link to it as our user benefit, and this will be always linked to our creators, and this will be part of our creator economy, which also linked to our landowners. So everybody wins, everybody makes money, and it's all shared, you know, all together.
So it's really impressive, especially the community and the angles of what you have. So this community, it's really probably one of the most ambitious projects in terms of all the confluence of different areas that I saw. Because, for instance, you're working with Prada, you're working with the ape board markets, which is as well the biggest probably NFT marketplace in the world. And you are working as well with all the technology that comes out of this. So one of the things that is coming soon, and we talk about the NFTs, is the ALTAVA market, where you can shop, create, and collect words of expression. And this is really very impressive because, for instance, one of the things, if you go to our website, is you have a collective of Balmain, and then you can actually buy and sell interoperable NFT fashion, beauty, music, and all different things. So can you explain the part of the marketplace? Because I think one of the things is, for you and for me, this is kind of, we're already living it, but a lot of people are still struggling, especially people above 40, 50 years old. They are struggling to understand this because it's, for instance, one example I tell them is my daughter that is 9 years old, that she spends time playing with her avatar and dressing her avatar, choosing clothes and so forth. And most of people are, I think, above 30, 40 years old, unless they are in technology like you and me, they have a struggle to understand this. But in a simple way, and especially working with the brands like Balmain, Prada, and so forth, how can we first of all how it works the marketplace in a more terms from your side, and how this goes, because this is becoming the world economy, but how we can actually look at that from the perspective of different areas. And you touch as well the sustainability. I would like you to touch that. It's a big question, but I'd like to hear, because you can explain
I'm happy
it very
to
well.
answer that. And I think in order for me to answer your question, I must speak the future of ALTAVA market, not the current stage. So what we are visioning, trying to do is that going forward, all marketplace, there will be, it's not just going to be only physical good transaction, based, marketplace, e-commerce. There will be always the digital twins, available together. So we envision the future marketplace to have both selling the real goods as well as the digital goods, or all paired and combined together. So what we are also doing is that we're using NFT as a tool to enhance in many areas. First, talking about sustainability. All the brands, the biggest headache is the leftover, the excessive inventories. That's always the biggest challenge, the question. So what we are doing, right now is that we are selling the physical goods with the NFT. We are actually selling NFTs first. So NFTs, basically, if you buy NFTs, the real physical goods, come with it. But there's a slight additional value because you have a digital twins that you're receiving. Which digital twins you can take to multiple different, metaverse, not just the one metaverse. This is another topic. It touches the interoperability issue as well. But anyway. And there's a lot of additional value that can come with it. So with that, you identify demands first, right? If you sell 217 NFTs, that's basically 217 potential product buyers that you have identified. We then only produce exact number of products. So we are reaching the waste zero model here, right? No leftover, model. So again, this is it touches a little bit of a sustainability, the issues, therefore, that's one way. So we are redefining kind of the production cycle and distribution, method, and then touching upon the new business model, and then with that, I think NFTs, once it's sold and distributed, your holders become your community member, and NFT, I think, is going to be the next most efficient CRM tool going forward, right? So that's and these are the kind of the classic example, the components that we want to build in a new marketplace, and then also. If you think about it, the credit card still today is a lot of pain, and a lot of countries still, the people do not own a credit card. So simply making also cryptocurrency token as a payment option, I think this will be another game changer going forward. Today, there's a lot of fluctuations in token prices. But I think in the short term, or at least the midterm, all the token price will be more stabilized, and that's when the token will be used as options and replacement of a credit card, or as the real true payment options. So these and we start with our own token called TAVA. So these are the classic kind of components, the things that we are building on top of the 3D experience. Through Avatar, you can have the experience. You have an AR filter, you have an AR VR. For us, AR VR is not the critical component. It's just the tools, and we obviously will utilize all these tools in the maximum sense as possible. And all these new technology will evolve and come out, and we just have to adapt and utilize as a tool best possible. But again, it's more about providing the true value to our users, and that's what's more important about the next shopping experience, the next market experience going forward.
So you touched a lot of different concepts that are super key for what you're doing, and let's talk on the avatars. The avatars are particularly important because they touch both the digital twin, the data, and of course you can look at the avatar to test clothes, but as well to understand, for instance, a brand can look at the data in different parts. So on the part of the avatars, you guys have as well, even behind your image, you have fantastic avatars right now, both on the creative side, but as well on the practical side. One of the questions that I would like to ask is, bear in mind that you're building and working with very big brands, what are the regulatory or at least the business framework and legal framework that you are working to assure brands and different parts that this can actually work from a privacy perspective from different areas? Because I know that is one of the problems that normal people ask.
Yeah, that's actually the toughest, the challenge also, one of the toughest challenge we have. First of all, brands do not have their own, wallet, right? So there are a lot of obstacles today still working with the brands. But I think, NFT is it's a potential problem solver for many ways. Brands do not have to fight over and worry about the counterfeit or fake ones, because NFT by definition it authenticates the real ones. The fake ones can be easily detected. And also with an NFT, it also improves the business, business model as well. If you think about it, the all brands, the business model is done after the initial sales. They don't take any, there's no extra or opportunity in secondary transactions and whatnot. But NFT basically guarantees that, right? You can collect perpetual commission for all transactions, going forward. So that's also another bright point of potential bright side for brands. So but at the same time, the brands are always kind of a worry about if the NFT, the digital goods, will devalue their products and degrade their brands the value going forward. And because you can basically generate million the items, if everybody has them, it's not a luxury, right? And also there are also millions different metaverse projects out there. How do you deal with that? So we came up with an obviously simple answer. We call it master NFT concept. So we create the NFT that's has a limited number of the items available. So scarcity is there. Therefore, we can always create a desirability, duplicate the desirability, the luxuries within the metaverse. And then this NFT basically has comes with a different utilities. Utilities are different version for different metaverse, because each and every different metaverse has their own graphical standards and look and feel. So you actually have to create each and every the digital version for each and every metaverse projects out there. But that's it's not a separate NFTs. It's control and managed by this what we call a master NFT as an utilities. So if you buy this master NFT, you buy the utility to Sandbox, utility to ALTAVA Worlds of View. So this NFT basically guarantees and connects all different metaverses out there. So try to solve that interoperability issue. So that's how we are also addressing this kind of the brands, protecting the brand's value and protecting the quantity, therefore desirability, therefore preserving the brand value going forward. And we try to also use certain brands also ask for specific chains that are more somewhat eco-friendly, consumes less energies. So we also certain times adopt, because of its the request from the brand side, the mint on a certain different chains and blockchain network. And then the brands who do not have their own crypto wallet, at the end we are the one who collects all the cryptocurrency and then converts into fiat, and then basically transaction between ALTAVA and brands is all in fiat in very traditional ways. So though everything is in Web3, also could be on crypto and whatnot, the actual transaction the relationship is based on the traditional model, based on the fiat, and based on the simple license agreement. I don't know these answers to some your questions.
No, that's completely. That's fantastic. Actually, you went very comprehensive. So I think we're going to put. I know that we passed 1 hour, so I want to be respectful of your time. We're going to put during the interview links for people listening to us, to your token, to your white paper, because I think it's really very interesting. And I think this is probably. I know that we are in the winter, crypto winter, but what you guys are doing is really a step ahead. And I think it's one of the things that shows that, unfortunately, because of some narrative, but the great innovation that is coming out of this, and as well how you guys are working with some of the biggest fashion brands in the world, but as well creating fantastic things. And I think you just need to go to your website to see about that. So I think as a last question, and I want to be cautious, I will do a second round with you because I want to go more through the product and probably do a live with where we actually show some of your avatars. So from the things that you've been doing, especially in ALTAVA, and as well your experience in terms of the intersection of technology and fashion and the e-commerce, there's all the areas that you do. And I think it's one of the things that I love about what you have is that you value and understand the importance of style, access to the elusive world of fashion and technology. There's a component of, as well, fidelity, relationship with performance, and the interoperable bridges with different technologies. So from the goal that you're building right now, then in your website, we have things like the second skin. We mentioned the worlds of view, the ALTAVA market, the ALTAVA career, the ALTAVA business, and you touch most of these things. So going forward, what is your vision for ALTAVA? Is to create like a future Amazon for Web3, or Farfetch, or you want to be more an interoperability ecosystem between the different things? Because in the end of the day, you can become Farfetch on the Web3, on the Metaverse, with a lot of different things, but as well a gamifying experience. So what is your narrative to go? Because you have so much wealth of capacities that you're doing here.
You said it correct, you guessed it, right. So going forward, we want to be the next, in the Web3 era, we're going to be the next Farfetch, going forward. I'm not sure Amazon yet, because we are only focusing the luxury side, at least today. And again, because next commerce is not about Web2, platform-driven e-commerce model. Which is just in terms of a user experience, it's a flat and transactional, business model, only. Web3 as is I think still a long way to go. next, we are at the crossroad between Web 2 and Web 3, and next at least 10, I would say 15 years, it's a new hybrid model between Web 2 and Web 3. And a lot of spirit, new technology from Web 3, but still Web 2 will be very much relevant. So it's going to be a new model, but however, it's a hybrid model between bridging this Web 2 and Web 3. And we want to be the first, kind of a category definer and a category killer for this new commerce, the era model. And where, like I said, this is a users' playground, but at the same time, users can purchase the physical goods, digital goods. Users can also create and sell their own goods, as well as consume others' good or our own goods. This is where users can come in and not only just spend money, but you can actually earn money through digital currency in form of a digital currency, and so this is a new the commerce the model we call next commerce. We call commerce 3.0. So we want to be that next commerce 3.0 company.
Well, it's really fantastic, and I think you are in the right direction for that, because what you guys achieve already is I would say from an innovation standpoint, from a narrative, it's really amazing. So last one. So how can people get engaged with ALTAVA Group? And I know that we'll put all the links, but coming from you, it's more interesting. And where can someone that just wants to get engaged and as well be more active within your ecosystem?
Yes. I mean, we are everywhere. If you on Twitter, please follow us. I think we have about 120,000 followers on our Twitter. But also Discord, we are very active on Discord. So join us, our Discord channel, ALTAVA Discord channel. I think we have about 93,000 Discord community members. Those are the two most active the channels that we operate. But we are on Instagram, the Telegram as well. But I would say those two. And today we are the final day for Bored Ape Golf Club. At the minting, we sold out, believe it or not, in this crypto winter. Despite the market condition out there, we sold out first batch for BAGC, which we are very thankful, which are very grateful to all our holders and community members. And this is provides a hope for many other companies and the upcoming projects. And we really want to demonstrate the right ways to do the NFT project, how NFT can be utilized, and how utilities can be expanded, how we can create a true meaningful value to users, and how we can demonstrate NFT not as a product, as an ongoing service. So you can always follow us on all our NFT projects as well. And if you if you can go to Google Store and then App Store, you can download ALTAVA Words of You. So we are everywhere.
No, amazing. First of all, congratulations for your fantastic project, and as well for your NFT sales, which is actually an achievement, bear in mind what is going on in the markets. But I think it shows as well the strength of your product and the strength of your innovation. So I want to thank you, Andy, for this time and for this amazing explanations. I wish a lot of success, and we'll come back here with another variation, probably to explain when you have more things special in the marketplace and other things. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. Thank you for listening to me. Would love to catch up again later.